is the food service director at Reading Hospital. She's just started a new menu program to offer guests visiting hospital patients guest trays, so the patients and their guests can eat together. She's been offering her guest trays program for 1 month and it has been popular. She would like to know her average selling price per guest, or her check average, to see if she needs to change the price for menu items. She would like to keep her average selling price above $11.50. Given the following information and the fact that Joanne priced each menu item with an $8 per guest tray contribution margin, calculate her average selling price for the month. All right, so we know our contribution margin is $8. All right, so our product cost for our Hunter's chicken is $3.50. We're going to add that contribution margin to it. We've got a selling price of $11.50. Okay, so again, we know that it's $8 all across the page. We can insert this in here. So we can back out. Let's back out our jambalaya. Okay, we know that it costs, or we're selling it for $11.75, and we have a contribution margin of $8. So we do have a product cost of $3.75. Again, our grilled salmon, $4.50 plus the $8 equals a selling price of $12.50. And on our beef tenderloin, we know we can take our selling price and back out our contribution margin to get our product cost of $8.50. All right, and again, the vegetarian cheese bake. We will add the contribution margin. All right, so in order for us to get our total sales, we're going to take their menu items sold. We're going to multiply that times the selling price. Okay, we can do that for the entire column. So let's copy that formula and we'll insert it here. Let's go ahead and let's calculate the number of items that we've sold. And then let's add up our total sales here. So we want to see if Joanna achieved her desired average selling price per guest. Okay, so she would like to keep her average selling price above $11.50. So we can go ahead, we can take our total that we've sold, divide that by our total sales. So we can take our total sales, we can divide that by our total number sold, and we get $11.98. All right. So if she's looking to keep her average selling price above $11.50, she's above that. She does not need to change her prices. In question 8, Ming has recently inherited the Quick Walk restaurant started by her parents. It's located in a busy strip shopping area surrounded by many office complexes, but is also near many quick service restaurants. The Quick Walk has been a successful because of its quality of its food, but Ming feels that it could do even better at lunchtime if she could create a value meal option to appeal to the price-conscious consumer. Because both a McDonald's and a Wendy's are within a quarter mile of her store, she's determined that her own value meal needs to be priced at $1. She creates a stir-fry dish that, when served with white rice, has a portion cost of 65 cents. Her beverages have a cost of 20 cents. The beverages already sell for $1 each, and she does not want to raise that price. She believes she could sell 75 of the new value meals per day if she offers the stir-fry dish at $1 as well. She seeks an overall product cost of 35%. From historical data, she knows that 80% of her customers purchase a drink with their meals. All right, so 80% of our guests have a beverage. Okay, so if we sell 75 stir-fry dish, 80% of our guests are going to get beverages. So we know we're going to sell 75 stir-fry and 60 beverages. Now our items cost 65 cents for our stir-fry and 20 cents for our beverages. That's going to give us a total cost, if we sell 75 times the 65 cents, of $48.75. Let's do the same thing for our beverages. 60 multiplied by the 20 cents. We're going to sell both of these for $1. So that's going to give us a total sales of, if we take our 75, multiply that by our dollar. Same thing for our beverages. We are going to take our 60 items sold by the dollar. All right, so we're going to have a total sales of $135, and that's going to cost us $60.75. So let's check out and let's see what our food cost is. Okay, we will take our total cost divided by our total sales. It's a 65% food cost on our stir fry dish. Let's see what it is on our beverage cost. Okay, if you're good at math, you should be able to figure this out, but Excel can do it for us as well. So we're at 20%. Okay, so with that menu mix here, are we going to hit our 35% food cost? Let's see, we've got a total cost of $60.75 and a total sales of $135. So we're at 45% food cost, okay? She wants a overall cost percentage of 35%. Is she gonna get it? Not with that mix, okay? So in this question here, based on the information given, calculate the overall product cost percentage of the value of beverage and meals. Anyways, how many beverages would she need to sell in order to hit the 35%? I apologize. There's an apple sitting on my table and my dog wants it. All right, so let's see here. Let's just mess around with the numbers, okay? I don't think we need to copy the spreadsheet and do it again. Let's just look at our numbers, okay? So let's think about it from an operations standpoint. If you're the manager, could I get my servers, instead of 80% of our customers getting drinks with our stir fry beverage, could we get 100% of them to do that? Let's see how that affects us, okay? So we're just going to change our number here. So we remember we were at 45% of a total food cost here. Let's say we could get 75% of our guests to order beverages. All right, now that just drops us to 42%. Okay, all right. Let's see how close we can get to 35, right? So let's say we could sell our stir-fry dish as something that people shared, or let's see if we could get them to come back in and order another beverage. Let's say we got to 100 drinks sold. All right, that brings us to 39%. All right, now let's say we could sell 2 drinks with a stir-fry dish. So let's say we sold 150 beverages. That hits us at 35%. That gets us at our target cost percentage, okay? Do you think this is realistic? I think she would have to have a totally different marketing perspective in order for this to be successful. Something like, like Sonic, where they encourage you to come back and get that drink in the middle of the day. In order for that to work, for her to hit her 35%. But I don't know if that's completely realistic. I think she might have to increase her selling prices. Obviously, this is from years ago. I think her selling prices could be more in line with what Wendy's and McDonald's are. I know she'd probably be pretty popular if she could sell like a drink and an entree for $2, but it's probably more realistic for her to sell them for more like $3 or $4. Question 9. Jackson Daniels is the director of food and beverage at the Foxfire Country Club. In June, Jackson's club hosted 3 weddings. Each wedding featured a 4-hour hosted bar paid for by the bride and groom. The consumption data from each event is listed below. Complete the missing data in the report, and let's help Jackson answer the questions that follow. All right, so let's look at June 7th. On June 7th, we had a wedding for 250 guests. We served $500 in beer, $400 in wine, and $600 in spirits. Okay, so looking at that, let's add up our total cost. So we'll add our beer cost and spirits for a total cost of $1,500. All right, so we will take that 1,500 and we're going to divide it by the 250, the guest that we had. And so it cost us $6 per guest. All right. Now, for June 14th, we can back some of that information out. Okay, we can take our total spirit cost. We will subtract our wine and our beer, which is going to give us our spirit cost. And then looking at the total cost and the cost per guest, we can calculate the number of guests served. Okay, so we know the total cost, divide that by the cost per guest. That's going to give us 500 guests. All right, let's complete June 21st. Okay, our total spirit cost here, after serving 400 guests, we're going to add this up. It's at $2,200. And let's take our 2,200, divide that by 400. All right, so let's get our totals here. So we see we've got 3 different weddings with 3 different guest counts with, pretty close on the cost per guest. So let's add this up. We'll add all the events together. And we can again use this formula. Now we can't add up our cost per guest, right? Because we're going to need to take our total cost and divide that by our number of guests served. All right, so 572. All right, so on average, our cost per guest was 572 for these 4-hour. These were 4-hour bars. Okay, so question A. What do you think should be Jackson's best estimate of cost at the club for providing a 4-hour hosted bar? So 572. 572 is your best estimate. You've got a pretty good sample here. 572 per guest for a 5-hour bar. All right. So question B, if Jackson seeks to ensure a 20% beverage cost, what should his selling price be per guest for a 4-hour hosted bar? All right. So if we take our 572 and we go ahead and we divide that by 20%, we see a total cost here of, let's make this, $28.59. All right, we would probably make that an even $28.50 or $29, but that would be a really good price to sell that bar at if we're looking for a 20% bar cost. Okay, sometimes with weddings you're going to have. You might have an event where nobody drinks anything. You might have an event where they drink a little bit more than you would expect. Okay, but if you're safely serving alcohol, you can pretty much expect them to be pretty consistent. All right, letter C. Would you recommend Jackson charge half the amount of the answer in B above for a 2-hour hosted bar? Okay, so if this is what we're charging for a 4-hour bar, would you charge, let's just call it $14 for a 2-hour bar? And I'm going to tell you just from a professional standpoint, the answer would be no, okay? Because most of your guests, when you serve a bar, most of your guests are going to drink 2 drinks in the first hour and 1 drink every hour afterwards. So as you get into hours 3, 4, and possibly 5 into a bar, the number of drinks that your guests are consuming decreases significantly, okay? Most people aren't power drinking into that 4th hour. Okay. They've started to slow down. They've started to have sodas or coffee or water, things like that. You're just not really serving that much in that last hour. Now, if you brought out enough product to make sure that you can cover it, and you have your staff out there, so you want to make sure you cover those costs, but you're going to serve most of your alcohol in the 1st and 2nd hours of your bars. So I would not charge half of this. I would probably go ahead and charge 75% of it. I would probably come in at like $21, $22. That might be a little bit more fair. But again, I wouldn't charge half. All right, that's it for chapter 6. We will see you for chapter 7.